Good evening, wrestling fans. We are back here with more AWA wrestling action, and tonight we are going to see some of the biggest names in the industry. Sergeant Slaughter and the Cobra Corp going up against the Allied Powers, and the Midnight Rockers will take on brand new tag team here in the AWA, and we don't know who it is. All right, we are back once again for AWA Wrestling, and coming down the aisle at this time, one half of the High Flyers, this is Greg Gagne. Well, I'll tell you something right now, Greg Gagne, one of the all-time greatest in professional wrestling. His father, of course, well, no need to talk about that. We know how great Vern Gagne, I beg your pardon, has been. Former world champion here in the AWA. Now his son looking perhaps to try to follow in his father's footsteps. Well, that appears to be the case as it may be, but he's going to have to prove it the hard way, because tonight he's going up against a former world champion and a man who's been on an incredible run here in the AWA as of late. And that, of course, is Bob Backlund. Princeton, Minnesota's very own Bob Backlund, I might add. And this man, a former world champion, as we earlier alluded to, and he also looking to get to the top of the pecking order here in the AWA. Champion Nick Bockwinkel has his work cut out for him as you look at the top 10 list, and it is starting to shape up to be a who's who in professional wrestling. No doubt about that, and these two men getting ready to square off in what should be a mat classic. Referee calls for the bell, and here we go. Right off the bat is Bob Backlund with a fireman carry, taking Greg Gagne down, now drives the knee into the back. Well, of course, Bob Backlund, the former world champion in the WWF, held that title for some 6 years, went up against the best of the best. Suffered an unfortunate back injury which cost him the title to the Iron Sheik, but here he is now in the AWA. And at the moment, getting the upper hand on Greg Gagne. Well, mean scheme, I'll tell you something. When we look at these two guys getting it into the ring, now all of a sudden it's outside the floor. But you have to think these are two of the greatest wrestlers in the business, but suddenly this thing's breaking down to a Pier 6 brawl going all the way up the aisle. I've got to tell you, I didn't expect to see anything like this in this match. I thought it would be between the ropes from bell to bell. But both men know what's at stake here. And an opportunity at the world title is something that you've got to take advantage of. And right now, both of these men throwing caution to the wind. Referee's count in the meantime has made it up to 6 and heading to 7. Both men racing to get back into the ring. Look at this. Greg Gagne throwing Bob Backlund in. That almost cost him the match. Well, this could easily come down to who makes the first mental mistake of the match, and that could have been it. Greg Gagne now with the snapmare takes him over, and he goes to work on Bob Backlund's arm. Working the shoulder. Nice move by Bob Backlund to get out of that, however. Gagne now Irish whipping Backlund to the ropes. Back elbow finds the mark, and down goes Bob Backlund right in the center of the ring. AWA All-Star Wrestling here exclusively on the Nation Network. And fans, as we approach the 1,000 sub mark, we thank all of you out there for your continued support. And now Backlund with a clothesline, sending Gagne all the way down to the concrete floor. And once again, Bob Backlund following him out there to the floor. And sending Gagne back into the ring. Elbow down across the throat. You gotta be kidding me. Well, this is professional wrestling. It's not ballet. And I can tell you right now, Bob Backlund, perhaps a little bit of a mean streak coming out here as he drops that knee from the top rope. This could be all she wrote. Greg Gagne in a lot of trouble, 2 count, and he's able to kick out the back door just barely. Once again, Bob Backlund follows it up with an elbow right to the chest, and Greg Gagne is right now in trouble. And here it is, the cross-face chicken wing, and nobody's been able to escape this hold. It is one of the most devastating holds in professional wrestling, and it's over. Another big win for Bob Backlund as he gets the victory over Greg Gagne. Well, I'll tell you something right now. Bob Backlund with a huge victory right here this week on All-Star Wrestling. You see him hooking the leg after the top rope knee drop. That wasn't it, but here it comes. This move will separate a shoulder, and Gagne knew there was no way he was going to get out of it. He had no choice. Well, indeed, he had to do something, and he did. He tapped out. And the win streak continues for Bob Backlund, and if you're Nick Bockwinkel at this point in time, you've got to be paying attention. Well, if he's not, he's going to be on the short end of the stick. I can tell you that right now. Bob Backlund very capable of becoming the AWA World Heavyweight Champion if given the opportunity. All right, fans, we'll be back with more right after this. Stay with us. All right, we are back, and we are now being joined by Jerry the King Lawler. Well, of course, Jerry the King Lawler is the reigning world-class heavyweight champion of the world, although he refuses to defend that title. Now looking to add the AWA World Championship to his collection, if you will. Now, when I come out here, I expect you people to stand in honor of the king. I am the champion, and you don't know much about that here in the AWA because your champion's a chump. He couldn't beat me at Wrestle Rock, and now he knows he can't beat me at all, so he doesn't want to fight me. I come out here week after week, and I'm looking for Nick Bockwinkel. And Nick Bockwinkel will have you believe he wants Jerry Lawler, but I'm not a hard man to find, as you can see. So Nick Bockwinkel, if you've got any guts whatsoever in your body, you'll come out here and you'll face me. You'll come out here and you'll put the AWA Championship on the line against the man you know is going to take it from you. But you got no guts. Wait a minute. Hold the phone. Here comes Nick Bockwinkel. And apparently he's heard as much as he's going to listen to. I'll tell you right now, Ken, when you see Nick Bockwinkel come out in moments like this, it takes a lot to get the ire up on Nick Bockwinkel, but I believe that Jerry Lawler may have done just that. You know something, Jerry? I've listened to you, son. And I don't think you're all you think you are. You call yourself a king. The rest of us just think you're the Burger King. Well, you got jokes. Look at you, you got jokes. What you don't have is guts. I have been out here trying to get a rematch with you for how many weeks now, and you sidestep me every opportunity you get because you know you can't beat me. I proved it once, and I will prove it again, only next time the difference will be I'll take your title. Well, that's where you and I disagree. You see, Jerry, I don't think you can take my title. Matter of fact, I don't think you even belong in the same ring as I am. What you've done to world class, you're not gonna do to the AWA. Not on my watch. Well, then why don't you make me leave? If you're so worried about me in the AWA and what Jerry Lawler is gonna do, why don't you make me leave? I'll tell you what. Because you ain't got the guts, that's why. Because you know you can't make me leave if you wanted to. You know, that actually sounds like an invitation to me. So here's what I'm going to offer you, and I'm going to use small words so you know you can follow along. I'll give you a title shot for the AWA Championship if that's what you really want. Well, now you're talking, because that's what we call an offer I can't refuse. And I'm going to remove the burden of being champion from you. Now, of course, you haven't been a real champion, haven't seen you defend that title in an awful long time, but that's okay, because soon it won't be your problem anymore. Just one little thing. When I win the match, you will leave the AWA. That's the stipulation that I'm putting in the contract. Oh my goodness! Look at what's going on here. Nick Bockwinkel just made Jerry Lawler an offer he said he couldn't refuse, but now Jerry Lawler not too happy with Nick Bockwinkel. I'll tell you, this is going to be one for the ages, fans. The world title will be on the line, not tonight, but sometime here soon in the near future. Jerry Lawler taking issue with the challenge and the stipulation put out by Nick Bockwinkel. The champion is down. We'll be back with more right after this. All right, wrestling fans, we are back here with more action, and right now we are being joined by Marty Jannetty and Shawn Michaels. Gentlemen, you are the Midnight Rockers, and tonight you have decided to accept the challenge of the newest tag team to sign here in the AWA, but we don't even know who it is.
Well, you know something? When you're Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty, you don't worry about anything other than accepting the challenges that come your way. And I understand that this team that's coming here today made a special request to go up against the Midnight Rockers, probably because they know we're the best there is in the business. We don't run and we don't hide. So tonight, meet us in the ring and we will rock and roll with you all night long, baby.
All right, very confident Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty will be seeing them shortly here tonight on AWA Championship Wrestling. Oh, wait a minute, look at this. One-on-one match set up between Doug Summers and Jerry Sags of the Nasty Boys. Of course, the AWA Tag Team titles have been brawled for by these two teams, and now they're getting one-on-one opportunities, and look at how this is turning out. I'll tell you right now, too much action to contain here in the AWA. The pretty boy Doug Summers now all the way to the top rope with them. And there is the superplex. Summers ramming the head of Jerry Sags into the canvas, and now from the middle rope he goes and misses with the big senton splash. We have been watching AWA wrestling for a number of weeks, and to see where things are heading right now, it's absolutely unbelievable, fans. Pretty boy Doug Summers with some elbows right to the midsection, giving him the opportunity here against Jerry Sags. Sags fights his way out. With a match like this, obviously the tag team title's not on the line, but what do either of these men tend to gain from this match? Well, you know, right now it is all about psychological warfare, I do believe. For pretty boy Doug Summers, I think they need the victory just to prove that they're capable of getting a win over any member of the Nasty Boys. And if you are the Nasty Boys, you're trying to prove you're the toughest team in town, and there's a big clothesline, sending the action out to the floor. Well, this is where the Nasty Boys are really at home. These New York City brawlers here on the concrete floor. Big headbutt to pretty boy Doug Summers. Ever since falling under the tutelage of Diamond Dallas Page, Summers and Playboy Buddy Rose have really gone up to the top of the ladder. They have come close, and now they are trying to get over that hump, if you would, and become the AWA Tag Team Champions, but the Nasty Boys have laid waste to everyone in their path. Well, they definitely have, and that includes the names like the Legion of Doom, the Road Warriors, just to name a few. Of course, the Midnight Rockers had some troubles along the way, as did the High Flyers. And now tonight, we're about to meet a new tag team here in the AWA. Tremendous headbutt off the middle rope, and that might be enough right there. Summers is in trouble, hooks the leg and gets two. Very close opportunity for Mr. Sags right there, but he does not get the 3 count, and he could be making a mistake right here. He had the opportunity, he had the momentum in his favor, and then he turns his back on his opponent. Now he pays the price. Drops him headfirst into the canvas, and now Sags in trouble. Oh, he's got him tied up in the abdominal stretch here, and look at this. Most unusual. I'd have to imagine that's going to put a lot of extra stress, and it does. He got him to tap out. I don't believe it. Well, you mentioned earlier about psychological warfare. What does that do for the Diamond Exchange? Well, I dare say that does a lot, because now they've proven not only can they beat the Nasty Boys, but they can actually do something I didn't think I'd ever see, and that is make one of the Nasty Boys tap out. There he is submitting to that modified abdominal stretch. The Pretty Boy Doug Summers scores what many people might consider an upset victory here tonight on AWA Championship Wrestling. We'll be back with the Cobra Corp. All right, the bell sounds. Action's underway as both of these teams already in the ring. Sergeant Slaughter going to work on Baron Von Reschke, Corporal Kirshner, his tag team partner. Well, these allied powers have been a thorn in the side of Sergeant Slaughter for many months now. There are those wondering how much more can these teams do to one another, but I'll tell you what, since Corporal Kirshner has come on the scene and evened it up, things have been much smoother sailing for the Cobra Corp. No doubt about that. We saw one hell of a six-man tag team match a few weeks ago. Definite contender for match of the year. Indeed, it was a Texas tornado with all six men at once. That was Katie Barlador. Referee, I'll say he earned his money that night, as he probably will have to here in this one as well. Both of these teams absolutely do not care what they've got to do to get a win at this point. Sergeant Slaughter has declared all-out war on the Allied powers. And now it is Baron Von Reschke with the upper hand for the moment. Irish whip sends Sergeant Slaughter into enemy territory. And there is the tag made. Double team coming up right here, and that's what they do the best. He goes for the bear hug on Sergeant Slaughter, but Slaughter just powers right out of it. Now Boris Zukov is in trouble. Irish whip sends him into the turnbuckle. Slaughter making the tag now. Here he goes. Here's the Irish whip. Drops down. Toe hold, and here comes Corporal Kirshner with that missile elbow drop right to the back. Corporal Kirchner, of course, a former airborne ranger, jumping out of airplanes into hostile territory, so that is nothing new for him. Indeed, when Sergeant Slaughter said he was handpicking the Cobra Corp members, he wasn't taking it lightly. And now Boris Zukov is sent all the way out to the floor, and here comes Corporal Kirchner. Kirchner sends him back inside the ring, and let's see what's going to happen here. Boot to the back. And Kirchner coming down with the elbows right to the forehead. Once again, Irish whip sends him into the turnbuckle, and he's shot off of that. I'll tell you this, Corporal Kirchner, he is tough. He's been trained by the military, and I'll tell you, when he sent him into that turnbuckle, you saw the impact. Fans, we've had a lot of action taking place here tonight. We've had the AWA World Champion going head-to-head with Jerry Lawler. We now know that those two men are going to meet for the title once again, with so much on the line and so much at stake. Goes for the cover now. Save is made by Baron Von Reschke. Now Sergeant Slaughter has got the Baron and sends him crashing to the floor. The damage has been done, however, as Baron Von Reschke may have saved the match, at least for the moment. We'll see if that's enough. Another Irish whip into the turnbuckle. Hits the ropes, comes back out front. Corporal Kirchner now with Boris Zukov, and he sends him in to the corner of the Cobra Corp. Oh, and now look at this. He took Sergeant Slaughter off the apron. Just like that, the tide has turned, and now across enemy lines, here he comes, 2-on-1. Kirchner on the receiving end of a beatdown right here. Slaughter has made his way back up to the apron, and he is absolutely hot. I've not seen Sergeant Slaughter quite like this before. He wants to tag. He wants into this match. Baron Von Reschke right now is in complete control, and he better stay that way, because if Slaughter gets in the ring, it might be all over. Oh, he's got him in a sleeper hold. Corporal Kirchner able to break the hold. Smart move by Corporal Kirchner right there, using momentum to his advantage. Follows him in, and look out. That may have been a bad choice right there. He had the opportunity to make the tag to Slaughter. Instead, decided to stick around a little bit longer. Thought he could maybe pay out some more punishment to Baron Von Reschke, and that almost cost him. But once again, sending Von Reschke into the friendly confines with Sergeant Slaughter. And now Slaughter from the top rope. The missile launcher coming down across Baron Von Reschke, and now Sergeant Slaughter is up. Nice butterfly suplex taking Baron Von Reschke over. Slaughter with those army boots, using them on the head. Oh, now there it is, the claw. Baron Von Reschke's got the claw on Sergeant Slaughter. Will he be able to escape this one? Oh, he's managing to feed off this crowd. They are on their feet for Sergeant Slaughter, and he's able to use that energy and momentum to escape the claw hold. We are not used to seeing that happen. Most times, if somebody gets themselves into that claw hold by Baron Von Reschke, it is all over. Now it appears that he's got some words going back and forth with Boris Zukov. Slaughter up, and he comes out the back door, drops the Baron on the back of his head. Zukov once again now. Oh, there it is! Cobra clutches on him. This could be the beginning of the end. Life-saving move right there by Baron von Reschke. He knew it was over, but he used his momentum and body weight to bring Slaughter over, and it broke the hold. Now a blatant rake of the eyes. Referee does nothing to admonish him. As Slaughter planting him face first. Turns him over, goes for the cover. Will that be enough? Corporal Kirshner gets there, but just a moment too late. Well, we've got action all around the ring. Corporal Kirshner was going at it with Boris Zukov, but right now it is Sergeant Slaughter going to work on Baron von Reschke. Slaughter's got the arm, and now von Reschke, power forearm, gets him out of it, and he has stunned Sergeant Slaughter with that one. The Baron running in with a knee right to the face of Sergeant Slaughter. Fans, I don't mind telling you, I've seen Sergeant Slaughter take a beating in the past and come out victorious, but even by those standards, the punishment being admonished right now, or being administered, I should say, by Baron von Reschke. What seems to be happening in their corner, however? Well, it's the second time that I saw von Reschke go to make the tag, only to have Boris Zukov drop off the apron. He's got the claw hold on Slaughter again. Corporal Kirshner is outside the ring. He's got to make a save, I think. Referee is there. He's asking him. Slaughter survived 2 times, and again Boris Zukov drops off the apron. Slaughter, lunging tag is made, and now here comes Corporal Kirshner. Oh, this crowd on its feet. Atlantic City, New Jersey. Coming to life, here's Corporal Kirshner, the man who would go airborne. Going to work on Baron von Reschke. Gutbuster by Baron von Reschke, now bouncing the head of Corporal Kirshner off the canvas. Nobody home. And now von Reschke going to the spinning toe hold. Well, that's a move that is very devastating. It'll work over the ankle and the knee of your opponent. Von Reschke's been in this ring a very long time now. He needs to make the tag. Every time he tries to, Boris Zukov seems to avoid it. Well, he certainly did when Sergeant Slaughter was in the ring. Now the question is he going to give his tag team partner a moment to get his breath back? Because, again, von Reschke's been in this ring an awful long time. There's a devastating clothesline. Kirshner might have knocked him out with that one. We'll find out. He goes for the cover, hooks the leg. And now Slaughter in the ring as well. And it's over. Well, I'll tell you, there's going to be some sort of fallout, I've got to believe, because we saw not once, not twice, but 3 times where von Reschke tried to make the tag, and Zukov dropped from the apron. Perhaps there's some ill will going on here in the Allied Powers. Nonetheless, there are your winners, still reigning supreme, the Cobra Corp, Sergeant Slaughter and Corporal Kirshner. Fans, when we come back, we are going to find out about the mystery tag team. Who is the most recent signees here in the AWA? All right, fans, we are coming to you live from the Tropicana, and once again here on the Nation Network, we go coast to coast, but not just across this nation. We go into Canada, we go into the UK, and even all the way to Italy. We thank all of you for your continued support. We take a look at the Midnight Rockers, the former AWA Tag Team Champions, looking to get back on top. Well, I've got to tell you, I'm a little amazed that these two gentlemen would sign a contract the way they did to face a team that they know nothing about other than the fact that they wanted the Midnight Rockers. Wait a minute! Hold the phone! That's Randy Rhodes and Dennis Condrey, the Midnight Express. Well, fans, I'll tell you what, I've seen it all now. Things in the AWA are not going to be the same. Dennis Condrey going to go to work with Shawn Michaels early on in this one. We'll see how this turns out. Well, back to what we mentioned early on. When you take a match with a team that you don't know, it's hard to prepare. But in the meantime, the Midnight Express definitely knew who they were going up against, and they have prepared. I would say the advantage definitely is in favor of the Midnight Express. Randy Rhodes with the crossbody block, and now he goes for the cover. Hooks the leg of Shawn Michaels, but he only gets one. Way too early in the match to think you're going to pin Shawn Michaels, even with that surprise. Snapmare takes him over. Now Randy Rhodes going to work on the head and the neck of Shawn Michaels. German suplex takes him over. Another crossbody block, and again he hooks the leg of Shawn Michaels, gets a 1 count. Marty Jannetty out on the apron, desperate to make a tag. Well, there's a tag made now by the Midnight Express. Here we go. Drop toe hold. Follows it up with a big elbow right to the back. Dennis Condrey, no stranger to being a member of the Midnight Express. Comes up with a big clothesline. Shawn Michaels slides out the back door, hits with a neck breaker, and now suddenly... Well, Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty are going to have to settle down here. There's a tag made to Jannetty. At least he's had an opportunity to see who he's going up against, but boy, that didn't help him at all. Big clothesline, sending him all the way outside the ring. Inverted atomic knee drop. Marty Jannetty now out on the floor. Gonna do a number here if he can on Dennis Condrey. Well, you know, we mentioned that Dennis Condrey's no stranger to being a member of the Midnight Express. That was a team he was part of over in the NWA with Bobby Eaton. But he's also no stranger to dealing with teams with rock and roll. Well, of course, their feud with the Rock and Roll Express was legendary in its own right. Irish whip, and he sends him all the way out to the floor. Does Dennis Condrey, and now look at this. Marty Jannetty is in trouble. He might have struck his head on the way down. Referee dealing with Dennis Condrey. Oh, devastating. Neckbreaker on the concrete floor, and Marty Jannetty is in trouble. Hammering away on Marty Jannetty here outside the ring. Just ran him into that steel ring post. And again, head first, Jannetty's down and he might be out. Dennis Condrey trying to get Jannetty to come back up and into the ring, but I don't know if he's going to be able to. Well, he does. Reversal by Jannetty now, and he's going to try and take advantage of the situation, sends him into the corner with Shawn Michaels, makes the tag, and now the Midnight Rockers will have their opportunity. Flapjack face first, plants him in the middle of the ring, and Shawn Michaels starting to feel it now. Shawn Michaels is on a roll. Went for the super kick, nobody was home. Face first, plants him in the ring. Michaels is down and he might be out. Oh, he busted him open with that one. Blood flowing down the face of Shawn Michaels. Now Randy Rose planting him. Both members of the Midnight Rockers. The Midnight Express right now definitely in control of this one. Tag has made Randy Rose a double team. Michaels wide open for that. Michaels goes for the DDT, but it's not going to happen. Instead, it's a Northern Light suplex. There's two. Save made by Marty Jannetty. Just barely got there in time. Well, I'll tell you, the Midnight Rockers, they are definitely stunned by the appearance, I would say, of the Midnight Express here in the AWA. He's got him up for, oh, wait a minute. Shawn Michaels fights his way out of it. Takes him over, and Dennis Condrey, this time he got caught with it. Save made this time by Randy Rose. Lunging tag made, and Marty Jannetty, the legal man in the ring. What is going on here? The two members of the Midnight Express doing the number right here. The double team taking place. Goes for the cover. And Jannetty manages to kick out, but not by much. Randy Rose just dropped down, he took the rope, and Jannetty's here outside the floor. Wait a minute, what's he gonna do? He's using that steel chair on Marty Jannetty. They got disqualified, but I don't think they care. They're doing the damage. Fans, we're out of time. We've got to go.